What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back here for some more fantasy football talk. I'm talking about Saquon Barkley today and his fantasy football outlook for this upcoming 2021 season. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I have a ton of fantasy profiles on the channel, a ton of other cool content coming your way, running back rankings, wide receiver rankings, all kinds of rankings, a bunch of other strategy talk, all that good stuff on the channel. Make sure to check it out. Hit the like button on the video, it really helps us out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. Let's hop right on to Saquon. So Saquon Barkley, he is a freakish talent at the running back position. The only other guy on a talent level I think is close to him is Christian McCaffrey down in Carolina. When they're fully healthy and ready to go, the guy is just an absolute stud. We saw him in his rookie year finish as the RB2 in his only full season, caught over 90 passes in that season. He's a guy who's been heavily involved in the passing game as well as the running game. In 2019, he only played 13 games and finished as RB10. Was a little shakier in that year, returning from injury, but when he was fully healthy, again, he was dominating for fantasy. Now, the thing about Saquon is he had that ACL surgery pretty late into the offseason last year. He suffered that injury early in the season, but because of swelling, he had to push that surgery off. So he's still unsure if he'll actually be ready for week one. This is a major question mark because where you're going to take Saquon right now is a high first-round pick. And do you really want to use your first-round pick on a guy who might not be ready for week one or have to be leaned back into it? I'm not sure. He's also attached to a bad offense in the Giants' offense. PFF has their offensive line ranked worst at the end of last season, worst heading into this next season. It's a pretty bad unit, to be honest with you. So there's no really getting around it. Daniel Jones has struggled in the past. They added Kenny Galladay in free agency and Kadarius Toney in the draft, first-round pick, wide receiver, to try to help Daniel Jones. And I expect them to try to lean on Saquon Barkley if he is healthy. But both of those are major question marks as well, that offense at quarterback and the offensive line. But to be fair to Saquon, none of this has really changed ever since he's been in New York. Eli Manning has been there; he was bad. Daniel Jones has been there; he hasn't played particularly well. The offensive line has never been a good unit there, and he has still dominated for fantasy. Done it all basically on his lonesome. Just goes out, lone wolfs it. Guy is an absolute stud. But when you're talking about guys like Ezekiel Elliott and some of these other guys that are attached to great offenses and great offensive lines, I have to take them over a guy like Saquon Barkley, honestly. I've taken Derrick Henry over a guy like Saquon Barkley, even though he doesn't have the pass-catching volume. Taking guys like Alvin Kamara, because I think he's just going to be a volume beast behind a good offensive line. And yeah, they have questions at quarterback, but I'm going to risk it behind that good offensive line and what I've seen him do in the passing game for years. Saquon Barkley is a high-risk pick just because of the injury. But honestly, I expect him to be ready to go week one. You just got to hope that he's not being leaned into week one. They're giving him, a lighter workload or anything like that because that's obviously not going to help your fantasy team. But I expect him to be healthy if I had to guess. And if he is, I think he could have a very dominant season. I have him projected for over 1,100 rushing yards, 60-plus receptions, 500 receiving yards, and 11 touchdowns. The only reason those numbers might look a little low for Saquon, I am just weighing the risk factor of him potentially not being ready at the beginning of the regular season. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stick around. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. Let me know who you guys would take over Saquon Barkley, or if you're taking Saquon Barkley at 3 overall, let me know why. Until next time, this is Fantasy Joe, signing